Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be showing you all how I achieved this very easy fall makeup look. It's very simple. The technique that I use makes this eyeshadow application super easy. So if you're interested in how I achieved this makeup look, please keep on watching. Don't forget to subscribe before you go, and let's go ahead and get right into this easy fall makeup tutorial. To start off this tutorial, I'm going to go ahead and prime my lids, and I just use my LA Girl Pro Concealer, and then I set that with my Airspun powder. Then I'm going in with this transition color from the Morphe 350 palette. This is a very tan neutral color, and I'm placing that all over the crease. Every eyeshadow that I put, I go ahead and focus it more on the outer and inner parts of the eye. Then I'm going in with this more orange tone shadow, and I'm just blending that right into the original transition color that we used. Then going back into the Morphe 350 palette, I'm using this red brick brown, and for this one, I'm not really focusing it in the crease. I'm starting on the inner and outer parts of the eye, and I'm really making sure that that's blended in those areas. And then whatever's left over, I'll go ahead and use the original brush that I used for the crease shade and just blend everything out. Basically, the technique that I used is you apply it on the outer and inner parts of the eye, then you keep another brush on hand and just make sure that everything's blended in the crease. And then I'm going to go in with a darker shade and do the same thing, apply on the outer part, inner part, and then just continue to blend through it. The key to this look really is blending, and just keeping in mind that wherever you go with the shadow first is where it's going to have the most pigmentation. So you want to make sure you're placing it in the right areas. You also want to make sure to not leave the eye too dark and too blended out, because you do have to leave some room to blend out the inner part of the eye. So I'm going in with the Dose of Colors palette, The Girls by the Desi and Katie collection, and I'm using this shade Suazo. This is a very champagne gold color, so I just place it on the center of the lid, and then I'm going back with a darker eyeshadow from the Morphe 350 palette, and then I'm placing that in the inner and outer parts of the eye with a pencil brush, and then I'm just blending that into the gold shade, because you want to make sure that everything's nice and blended. And if you have to go darker, you can go darker because you left room to work. So I'm just going to reapply, blend out, and reapply as needed. I was very surprised by this glitter or this eyeshadow because it really didn't apply like a normal eyeshadow. It was a very interesting formula, and it was almost like when I went ahead and blended it out, a lot of it fell out, so I had to continue to reapply. But eventually it worked, and I just did what I could with the formula. I'm going to go ahead and highlight my brow bone. This is a white eyeshadow from the Morphe 350 palette, and then I'm just blending everything out. For this look, I used the Kiss lashes in Peony, and I really like these lashes. Just a disclaimer, I didn't apply them as well as I could have because it's been a while since I used lashes, so it looks a little different in the inner part of the eye, but whatever, I worked with it. So I went ahead and applied mascara, and I'm moving on to the face. For primer, I'm using my MAC Strobe Cream and my Botanic Farm Soft Cover Pore Primer. I really love the combination of this because the Strobe Cream provides me with that radiance, and then the Soft Balm gives in that pore filling effect. For foundation, I went in with my Milani 2-in-1 Conceal and Perfect foundation, and I mixed that with my Clinique Even Better Glow foundation. And I like the combination of these two because the Milani one gives me the perfect coverage, like perfect coverage, and the Clinique foundation just adds that extra radiance. Then after that, I went ahead and put in my concealer. I'm using my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I love this concealer. It's one of my favorites. So I just apply it in the areas that I highlight, and then I blend it out with my PUR sponge. I actually like this sponge so much better than the Beauty Blender because it's so much more dense, and I feel like it just spreads the formula and consistency of this concealer way better than a Beauty Blender. Then I'm going to go ahead and bake with my Airspun powder. Actually not bake, just set. I kind of just place it in the areas that I highlighted just to make sure that it sets. And then I'm going in with my Tarte Showstopper palette. I'm using the bronzer shade in the palette to go ahead and contour my nose. I haven't quite mastered contouring my nose, but I do like doing this when I want to achieve a full face. Then I'm going to go ahead and just press in the powder into my skin. I really am loving this powder lately because it really smooths out the skin. Even though it leaves kind of a rosy undertone, I like the effect that it has on my skin. Then I'm going to go in with my bronzer. I'm using this fan brush by Morphe, and I'm just going to go ahead and place this Makeup Geek bronzer in the areas that I want to contour. Using this fan brush really makes contouring so much easier because you don't have to contour and bronze. It does it all for you at the same exact time. But then I just like to go go in with my Real Technique sponge just to really apply the bronzer on my forehead a little bit more precisely, and then I'm just going to clean that up to make sure it's nice and sharp. Then I'm going to go ahead and finish the eyes. I'm using Makeup Geek's eyeshadow in Creme Brulee, and I'm using the Sigma brush to just lightly apply it on the lower lash line, and then after that I'm going to go ahead and go in with liner. I kind of just picked up any black liner that I had, and I applied that on the waterline, and once that is all applied on the waterline, I'm going to blend it out with one of the darker shades that I used for eyeshadow. So I just want to really make that smoky on the lower lash line, and then I'm going to go ahead and apply mascara. I'm using my Xlash Cosmetics mascara. I have been loving this mascara, although it's a pain to wash off. It's so worth it wearing it throughout the day. Once I take off that powder, I'm going to go ahead and spritz my face with some setting spray before I go in with highlight. I'm using my Sleek Makeup highlighter. I use this in my drugstore tutorial if you haven't checked it out. This is one of my favorite highlighters that I've been using for a very, very long time. I think I need to graduate from it, but I just love it too much. So I just apply that on the areas that I want to highlight with my Anastasia Beverly Hills brush. Once that highlight is on, I'm using the same Tarte Showstopper palette, and I'm using the blush in there to apply that on the tops of my cheeks. And then I'm going in with lipstick. I'm using Anastasia Beverly Hills lipstick in Ashton. This is my favorite fall lippy. I've been wearing it a lot. Once this lipstick is on, this look is complete. I really hope you guys enjoyed this easy fall makeup tutorial, and if you did, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!